The Singapore Institute of Architects has unveiled a blueprint designed to resolve key issues within the architecture profession. We have its president, architect Melvin Tan, to tell us more about it. Melvin, what's been going on in the architecture scene that kicked off this blueprint?
So I took over the presidency 2.5 years ago. And even prior to that, the whole market has been concerned with talent attraction and retention. And the idea of fees has always been an issue, and the decline of fees has been that main point. So that spurred the Singapore Institute of Architects to really develop something what we call the blueprint, which is a value articulation framework. And it essentially records all the type of work, the full scope of works that an architect undertakes for each project. And not only that, records also their liabilities and responsibilities that QPs or qualified persons take on.
Can you explain how the blueprint specifically tackles the challenges that architects in Singapore are facing?
So one of the things that not just architects but consultants at large deal with is the idea of scope creep. Now, scope creep can happen in small amounts, can happen in large scale. One example, if you a client gets an architect on board to do a project. In the meantime, he's asking the architect to attend every single meeting that he has with every other sub-consultant. Automatically, the time that we put out or get involved with increases manifold. And that's an example of scope creep that we never allowed for in our fees, but are asked to take on additional scope. So by virtue of that, if you take that into consideration over a period of 6 years or 10 years where a project takes to happen, it could amount to quite a bit. So that's one example how Blueprint is able to articulate all the things that we're meant to do and have not been priced for, hopefully to be able to allow the architects to either price their fees, get commensurate fees, or be paid additional fees for additional work.
Given that this is new, Melvin, what's the initial reaction been like from the architecture community towards this blueprint?
Well, I'm glad to say that the media has taken it up, saying that Singapore Institute of Architects blueprint might be a way to thwart fee diving in the industry. We're glad to also hear that other associations for engineers and other consultants have looked towards blueprint as a way to also safeguard their trade and their consultancy work in a way to articulate their scope. We also understand that the public sector and the government agencies are also considering blueprint as a way to articulate fair fees because it is not, or rather everyone acknowledges that the fees today perhaps are a little low and won't be sustainable in the long run for Singapore.
Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your insights, Architect Melvin.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Once again, that was Architect Melvin Tan, President of Singapore Institute of Architects. For more news, visit sbr.com.sg.